and I'm live using StreamYard. That's a service that allows you to stream the content as you talk live, and it's required for accessing different platforms. Well, StreamYard or something else. So today I want to talk about some of the challenges that small, medium pharmaceutical companies do face, which I've recently decided to change my focus. When I first started in my career back in '86, I didn't have any direction. When I started my consultancy in 2011, which is Polar Pharma Limited, then I wanted to be able to provide the service as a QP. So I focused really on batch release and the associated activities that relate to being a qualified person. Now, over the last 10 years, I've worked with a wide range of companies and interacted, of course, with the MHRA a number of times. And one of the things that concerns me often is the knowledge base within the team. And that's what I want to highlight as one of the unique challenges small to medium pharmaceutical companies face is what's the talent base that you're working with? How do you actually make sure that the people that you employ have the right level of skills, knowledge, and competence to perform the duties that you need them to do? Maybe they join straight from university because that's the budget that you've got. Well, they're probably not going to have much idea, unless they've attended my diploma that I'm running over in Jordan University online, about what's required. They won't really have a good understanding of pharmaceutical manufacturing, about customer service, about placing the product on the market, about compliance, about regulations, but more importantly, about the terminology. So what I'm looking at doing now is to provide a service which really I'm offering to the CEOs, I suppose. And my focus has changed recently to work with the CEO, because that seems to be the level in the small to medium pharma companies where you've got the authority and you've got the decision-making capability to decide to improve the competence throughout. What I want to do is to put a program in place. Well, really I want to start with an assessment of your capabilities, of the capabilities of your team, and use that to help direct the training and education that they need, maybe some mentoring for the senior management, maybe a bit of coaching as it's needed. Depending on what comes out of the original assessment, what are we doing is, are we working with your team, potentially you as well, to help improve performance? And why would I want to do that with such a basic level of understanding? Well, if you don't have the basics, if you don't know the industry, if you don't know the terminology, how's somebody going to know to apply the next level up? So many of us just introduce people to the company through a half-day induction, maybe, telling them about the background of pharmaceuticals. And then you give them a list of SOPs to read, because that's the way it's done. But how do you make sure that they maintain or they achieve the right level of competence? Well, you do a little quiz at the end of the SOP, don't you? Did they understand the English in that SOP? But the problem then is they don't do anything to apply that knowledge. Don't work through a systematic approach to ensure that the people that are taken on understand how to apply it. And then once they're applying it, are they interpreting the information correctly? So you should be doing a competence assessment over time. Make sure they're actually doing it. And what I'm offering to do at the moment is to help CEOs identify through assessment what they need to help them work together more closely with a clear understanding. Because, of course, once you've got a clear understanding and the team's got a clear understanding, it's much easier to set priorities, to set objectives, but more to the point, for people to understand what you mean by those objectives and then start working to them. I've had many different roles over the years. I've been in pharmaceuticals 35 years. But until I really understood the basis for pharmaceutical manufacturing and supply, and why it is that you have to be focused on the money, why it is that you have to make sure you understand. And you have to remember that actually giving some information, demonstrating, delivering training, that you're doing it not for yourself, you're doing it for the other person. And when you're doing something for the other person, they're the ones that need to understand. So always be open about receiving questions. Make sure it's clear to them what it is that you're explaining to them. Make sure they understand how they fit in with the rest of the business. Make sure they know who to talk to. Make sure they know what the impact is if they don't do the job right. Is it going to be a patient that's going to be coming back and saying, I'm sorry, but this made me sick instead of made me better? Make sure that your business is clear about the expectations that they're setting for their team. Make sure the team is buying into that. And if you need some help, let me know, because I'll be there to help you actually assess the performance of your team. And I'm not talking about delivering on your internal KPIs and objectives. I'm talking about, are they up to the standards that you need to be able to collaborate well together with the rest of the organization? Do they have a good understanding? Does everybody understand who they should be talking to? If they do, fine. But I'll help you by starting with an assessment to make sure that they've got the knowledge that they need to be able to get going, to be able to build your business and help you achieve your goals. Because the worst thing that you can have is you manufacture the product, and because somebody didn't understand the implications of what they've done, you can't ship it. That's never fun, is it? Delays are never a good thing to have. That's it for me for today. It's Paul Palmer. Didn't get any questions today, so I'll talk to you soon.